Most people don't have a money problem. They have a mindset problem. Every day millions wake up, go to work, collect a paycheck, and yet still feel like they are running on a treadmill going nowhere. No matter how hard they work, the bills keep coming, the debt keeps growing, and the dream of financial freedom feels like a distant fantasy. This cycle isn't just about numbers on a bank statement. It's about control, stress, and the quality of your life. The truth is simple. Living paycheck to paycheck is a trap. It keeps you focused on surviving today instead of building a better tomorrow. It creates anxiety, limits your choices, and forces you to trade your time for just enough money to stay afloat. But here's the good news. You can escape. You can learn to take charge of your finances, build lasting wealth, and design a life of freedom. In this audiobook, we will uncover the hidden reasons why you've been stuck, and we'll replace old habits with powerful strategies to create lasting change. You'll learn how to track every dollar, eliminate debt, build multiple streams of income, and think like someone who creates wealth rather than chases it. This isn't about quick fixes or get-rich-quick schemes. It's about building a strong foundation for a lifetime of financial independence. If you're ready to stop surviving and start thriving, listen carefully, apply what you learn, and commit to change. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Face the truth about your money. The first and most important step to escaping the paycheck-to-paycheck trap is to face the truth. Not the version you tell yourself to feel better, not the excuses you've been using for years, but the raw, unfiltered truth about your financial situation. This can feel uncomfortable, even scary, but without this step, nothing else you do will stick. Most people live in denial when it comes to money. They avoid looking at their bank balance until they have to. They pay bills without really knowing where their money is going. They swipe their cards and hope everything will just work out. But here's the thing, ignoring reality doesn't change it. Pretending the problem doesn't exist only makes it worse. Think of it like a doctor's visit. If you don't get a clear diagnosis, you can't get the right treatment. The same goes for your finances. You need to know exactly where you stand, how much you earn, how much you spend, how much you owe, and how much you actually have left. When you have the full picture in front of you, you can start to take control. This step isn't about judging yourself or feeling shame. It's about taking responsibility. Blame won't pay off your debts. Guilt won't grow your savings. Only action will, and action starts with clarity. Here's what I want you to do. Grab a notebook or open a spreadsheet and write down every single source of income you have. Then list every single expense, no matter how small. Be honest. Don't leave out that daily coffee, the subscription you barely use, or the random purchases you make without thinking. When you're done, calculate what's left, or what you're short of, at the end of each month. For many people, this can be a shocking moment. You might realize you're spending far more than you thought. You might discover patterns you never noticed before, like how a few small, harmless habits are costing you hundreds every month. It might sting at first, but this is the moment you take back your power. When you face the truth about your money, you're no longer a victim of it. You're no longer blind to the forces that keep you stuck. You become aware, and awareness is the foundation of freedom. Don't rush this step. Sit with it. Reflect on what your numbers are telling you. This is the starting line of your journey. You can't fix what you refuse to see, but once you see clearly, you can change anything. So today make a promise to yourself. No more hiding, no more pretending, no more excuses. From this moment forward, you'll face your financial reality with courage, because the truth, as uncomfortable as it may feel, is the key that will unlock the door to the life you've been dreaming of. Chapter 2. Break the cycle of living for payday. Imagine this. It's Friday, payday. You open your banking app, and for a moment you feel a rush of relief. There's money in your account again. You pay some bills, grab a nice dinner to celebrate surviving another week, Maybe make a couple of small purchases you've been putting off. By Monday you're back to watching your balance shrink, counting the days until the next payday arrives. Sound familiar? This is the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, and it's one of the most exhausting, limiting ways to live. It's like running on a treadmill that never stops. You move, you sweat, you struggle, but you stay in the exact same place, month after month, year after year. It doesn't matter how hard you work if the system you're in is built to keep you stuck. The truth is, this cycle is more than just a math problem. It's a mindset trap. Living for payday teaches you to focus on short-term survival rather than long-term growth. You stop thinking about your future and start thinking only about making it through the next 2 weeks. This way of thinking robs you of options. It robs you of peace. It robs you of the chance to create a life on your terms. Here's the thing most people don't realize. The system is designed to keep you in this cycle. Companies want you to stay dependent on your paycheck. Credit card companies thrive on you living beyond your means. Advertisers constantly push you to spend more, convincing you that happiness comes from the next purchase. And before you know it, you're working not for your dreams, but to keep other people rich. But here's the good news. You don't have to play that game. You can step off the treadmill. You can break the cycle. The first step is awareness. You have to see the pattern clearly. That's why Chapter 1 was so important. Facing the truth about your money gives you the clarity to see where the trap is closing in. The second step is shifting your perspective. Instead of thinking like someone who gets by, you must start thinking like someone who is building something. People who stay stuck in the paycheck-to-paycheck life see money only as a tool for survival. People who escape it see money as a tool for freedom. One of the biggest mindset shifts you can make is this. Stop asking, "Can I afford this right now?" and start asking, "Will this choice move me closer to my goals or keep me trapped?" That single question changes everything. Suddenly you're not just reacting to life. You're making intentional decisions about where your money goes. Here's a simple example. Let's say you get a small bonus at work. The old pattern would be to spend it immediately on something fun or convenient. A new gadget, a fancy dinner, a weekend trip. That feels good in the moment, but it keeps you right where you are. The new pattern is to pause and think, how can this money serve my long-term freedom? Maybe it goes toward paying down debt. Maybe it becomes part of your emergency fund. Maybe it's invested in a skill that increases your earning power. That choice may not feel exciting right now, but over time, it's life-changing. Breaking the cycle also requires building a financial buffer. When you live paycheck to paycheck, every unexpected expense feels like a disaster. The car breaks down, a bill comes in higher than expected, or a medical expense pops up, and suddenly you're scrambling, stressed, and maybe even taking on more debt. By creating even a small emergency fund, you break that constant state of panic. You create breathing room, and breathing room is the first taste of real freedom. But let's be honest, breaking the cycle won't happen overnight. It will take discipline. It will take saying no to things you want today so you can say yes to the life you want tomorrow. It will mean being different from most people around you who are still caught up in the game. Some might not understand your choices. That's okay. You're not living for their approval. You're living for your future. Here's the promise I want you to remember. The moment you stop living only for the next paycheck, your entire life changes. You stop feeling like a slave to your job. You stop feeling controlled by bills and debts. You gain the power to plan, to dream, to build something bigger than just getting by. So today make a decision. Decide that you are done with the cycle. Decide that you are ready to live differently, even if it's hard at first. Because while the paycheck-to-paycheck trap feels like a prison, the key has always been in your hands. It's time to pick it up, unlock the door, and step into a new way of living, one where you control your money instead of your money controlling you. Freedom doesn't start with a big lottery win or a massive raise. It starts with a decision, a shift in mindset, and a willingness to take small, consistent steps in a new direction. Break the cycle now, and you'll set yourself on a path toward a future where paydays are no longer about survival. They're simply a step toward the life you've always wanted. Chapter 3. Build a mindset of wealth, not survival. Money isn't just about numbers, it's about how you think about those numbers. Two people can earn the same income, yet one builds wealth while the other stays broke. Why? Because one has a wealth mindset, and the other has a survival mindset. A survival mindset keeps you focused on getting through the day, the week, the month. It's reactive. You make decisions based on fear, urgency, and scarcity. When you get paid, you immediately think about what bills to pay and what's left over. You tell yourself things like, "I'll never get ahead," or, "As long as I can cover the basics, I'll be fine." This kind of thinking keeps you trapped. You're always in defense mode, trying to survive instead of thrive. A wealth mindset is completely different. It's proactive. It's focused on growth, possibility, and freedom. When you earn money, you don't just think about today, you think about how this money can create a better tomorrow. You make decisions based on strategy, not stress. You understand that every dollar you earn is a seed. You can either eat it now or plant it to grow into something far greater. Here's the truth: money follows mindset. If you see yourself as someone who will always struggle, you'll unconsciously create that reality. If you see yourself as someone capable of building wealth, you'll start making choices that move you toward it. This isn't magic, it's cause and effect. Your thoughts shape your actions, and your actions shape your results. So how do you shift from survival thinking to wealth thinking? It begins with awareness. Start paying attention to the thoughts you have about money. Do you feel anxious every time you check your account? Do you believe wealth is for other people, but not for you? Do you tell yourself stories like, "I'm just bad with money," or "I'll never be debt-free"? These thoughts are like invisible chains holding you back. The next step is to challenge those beliefs. Instead of saying, "I can't afford this," try asking, "How can I afford this in a way that aligns with my goals?" Instead of saying, "I'll never get out of debt," tell yourself, "I am learning the skills to become debt-free." These small shifts matter. They retrain your brain to look for solutions instead of staying stuck in problems. Another powerful practice is to start seeing money as a tool, not a master. Most people let money control them. Their moods rise and fall with their bank balance. When they have extra, they feel good. When they're short, they feel stressed and defeated. But money itself is neutral. It's like a hammer. You can build with it, or you can destroy with it. When you see money as a tool, you take back your power. You stop reacting and start directing. Survival thinkers also tend to focus on lack. They notice what they don't have and dwell on it. Wealth thinkers focus on opportunities. They see possibilities others overlook. For example, a survival thinker might say, "I only make this much, so I'm stuck." A wealth thinker says, "I make this much now, but here are 3 ways I can increase my income over time." The situation might be the same, but the perspective changes everything. This mindset shift doesn't mean you ignore reality or pretend money challenges don't exist. It means you face them with a different attitude, one of strength and creativity. When a bill comes in higher than expected, a survival mindset panics. A wealth mindset calmly asks, "What adjustments can I make? What lesson can I learn from this?" Building a wealth mindset also involves surrounding yourself with the right influences. If everyone around you complains about money and believes success is impossible, it's easy to absorb that negativity. You need to seek out books, podcasts, mentors, and communities that reinforce the belief that you can create wealth. The voices you listen to will shape the voice inside your own head. Finally, commit to long-term thinking. Survival thinkers want instant gratification. They spend money today to feel better now, even if it costs them later. Wealth thinkers are willing to delay gratification because they see the bigger picture. They understand that skipping a short-term pleasure today can create massive freedom tomorrow. Here's a simple example. Imagine you receive an extra $200. A survival mindset says, "Great, I can finally buy that new gadget or go out to dinner." A wealth mindset says, "This $200 could pay down debt, grow my emergency fund, or be invested to multiply over time." The decision might feel small in the moment, but multiplied over years, it's the difference between staying stuck and building real freedom. Remember this, wealth is created in the mind before it shows up in the bank. If you want to change your financial reality, you must first change how you think about money. Start seeing yourself as the kind of person who is capable of building wealth. Make choices today that your future self will thank you for. The paycheck-to-paycheck trap begins in the mind, and so does your escape. Shift your thoughts, and your actions will follow. Shift your actions, and your results will transform. Build a mindset of wealth, not survival, and you'll open the door to a life where money is no longer a source of stress, but a tool for freedom and possibility. Chapter 4. Track. Every dollar, like your freedom, depends on it. If you want to take control of your money, you need to know exactly where it's going. Not kind of, not roughly, but exactly. Most people think they have a pretty good idea of their spending habits until they actually track it. That's when the truth comes out, and it's often shocking. Think about it. You can't win a game if you don't know the score. You can't fix what you refuse to measure. Tracking your money isn't about being obsessive or restricting every purchase. It's about awareness. Awareness is power. When you know where every dollar goes, you can make informed decisions instead of operating on guesswork and hope. Here's why this is so important. Untracked money disappears. It slips through your fingers without you even noticing. It's those random coffees, the streaming subscriptions you forgot you signed up for, the impulse buys at the store. On their own they seem small, harmless even. But over time they add up to hundreds or even thousands of dollars a year. Money that could have been building your future instead gets lost to mindless spending. Imagine for a moment that your money is like water flowing through a pipe. If there are leaks, even tiny ones, over time you'll lose gallons. Eventually, you'll have no water left. The same goes for your finances. If you don't identify and plug those leaks, you'll always feel like you're running dry no matter how much you earn. The first step to tracking your money is simple. Write down everything, every single dollar that comes in, and every single dollar that goes out. No exceptions. Don't just focus on the big expenses like rent or your car payment. Include the $3 coffee, the $12 lunch, the $5 app subscription. Those little things are often what sabotage your progress. You can do this with a notebook, a spreadsheet, or a budgeting app. The tool doesn't matter nearly as much as your consistency. What matters is that you capture the truth. At the end of the month, look at the numbers. Really look. You might discover that you're spending far more on things like eating out or entertainment than you realized. You might notice patterns that explain why you feel like you're always broke even when you shouldn't be. Now here's where the magic happens. Once you see where your money is going, you can start telling it where to go. That's the difference between drifting and directing. Most people just drift through life financially. Their money comes in, it goes out, and they hope there's something left over. But people who build wealth assign every dollar a job. They decide ahead of time what their money will do, whether that's paying bills, saving, investing, or enjoying a planned luxury. Think of yourself as the CEO of your financial life. A CEO doesn't just let resources get spent randomly. They create a plan. They allocate carefully. They know that every dollar is an employee that needs direction. When you take on that mindset, your money starts working for you instead of disappearing on autopilot. Here's a simple exercise to try for the next 30 days. Commit to tracking every dollar you spend. At the end of each day, write it all down. Even if you just spent $1 on a snack, track it. By the end of the month, you'll have a clear picture of your habits. That picture might surprise you. It might even sting a little, but that discomfort is a sign of growth. It means you're waking up to reality, and reality is where change begins. The goal of tracking isn't to make you feel deprived or guilty, it's to give you control. Once you know where your money is going, you can make choices. You can cut back on what doesn't matter, and redirect that money toward what truly matters: your freedom, your security, your future. Over time, this practice will transform not only your finances but also your relationship with money. You'll move from feeling like money is this mysterious, uncontrollable force to feeling like the one in charge, and that feeling is priceless. Remember this: untracked money always disappears, but tracked money has power. If you want to escape the paycheck-to-paycheck trap, you must become fiercely aware of every dollar. Treat each one like a soldier in your army, each with a mission to accomplish. When you track your money with intention, you create a clear path toward financial independence, and step by step, dollar by dollar, you move closer to a life of freedom. Chapter 5: Hidden Money Leaks and Bad Habits. You work hard for your money. You put in the hours, deal with stress, and sacrifice time and energy every single day. So why does it feel like your paycheck vanishes the moment it arrives? Why, no matter how much you make, does it never seem to be enough? The answer often isn't in the big, obvious expenses. It's in the small, hidden leaks, silently draining your wallet. Think of your finances like a bucket of water. You keep filling it up by working and earning. But if there are holes in the bottom, the water will always drain out. It doesn't matter how hard you work to pour more in. Unless you fix the leaks, you'll stay stuck. These leaks come in many forms. They're the subscriptions you don't use, but keep paying for every month. They're the impulse purchases you make because you're bored, tired, or stressed. They're the delivery fees, late fees, and bank charges you barely notice until they've added up to hundreds of dollars a year. And the worst part, most of the time, you don't even realize these leaks exist. They become part of the background noise of your life. This is why awareness is so powerful. Once you've tracked every dollar, like we discussed in the last chapter, you'll start to see patterns. You'll notice the daily coffee that costs $4, which seems harmless, but adds up to over $1,000 a year. You'll see the gym membership you haven't used in 6 months, quietly taking money from your account. You'll realize just how much food delivery or convenience purchases are eating into your budget. Here's the thing: none of these individual expenses are bad on their own. There's nothing wrong with enjoying a cup of coffee or streaming your favorite shows. The problem is when they're automatic, unconscious, and unaligned with your bigger goals. When you spend without thinking, your money gets scattered instead of directed. The solution isn't about cutting out everything fun. It's about making conscious choices. If you truly love something and it brings you joy, keep it, but be intentional about it. The goal is to eliminate the mindless spending that doesn't add real value to your life. Here's a simple 3-step process to slash hidden leaks. Step 1. Identify. Go through your expenses line by line. Look for anything you've been paying for without using or appreciating. Be honest with yourself. Even small charges matter. Step 2. Evaluate. Ask yourself, does this expense support the life I want to create? If the answer is no, it's time to let it go. Remember, every dollar you free up is a soldier you can redeploy toward your financial freedom. Step 3. Eliminate or reduce. Cancel unused subscriptions. Call your service providers to negotiate lower rates. Set reminders to avoid late fees. Batch errands to cut down on gas and delivery costs. These small actions may seem minor, but combined, they create massive change over time. Now let's talk about habits, because leaks aren't just financial, they're behavioral. Many people have habits that keep them stuck without realizing it. For example, shopping when you're stressed or bored, eating out by default instead of cooking at home, ignoring bills until they're overdue and come with penalties. These habits cost you more than money, they cost you peace of mind. Changing habits takes time, but it starts with awareness. The next time you feel the urge to make an impulse purchase, pause and ask yourself, is this about solving a real need or just soothing an emotion? That moment of pause gives you power. It turns a mindless reaction into a conscious decision. Here's a powerful truth. Small leaks can sink a great ship. Many people focus only on earning more, believing that a higher income will solve their problems. But if you don't fix the leaks, more income just means more money flowing out. Wealth isn't built by how much you make. It's built by how much you keep and grow. As you start cutting out hidden leaks, something amazing happens. You begin to feel lighter, freer. You stop feeling like your money is slipping through your fingers. You start to see the progress you've been craving. And every time you redirect a wasted dollar toward your goals, you take one step closer to breaking free from the paycheck-to-paycheck trap. Remember this, discipline isn't about restriction, it's about liberation. When you cut away the unnecessary, you create space for what truly matters. So take a deep breath, look honestly at your spending, and start plugging the leaks. You'll be amazed at how quickly those small changes add up to big results. Results that will transform your financial future forever. Chapter 6. Create a bulletproof emergency fund. Life has a way of throwing surprises at you. Some of those surprises are good, like a promotion at work or an unexpected opportunity. But others can shake your world: a sudden medical bill, a car that breaks down out of nowhere, a job loss you didn't see coming. And here's the truth: if you don't have a safety net, those surprises can send you spiraling right back into the paycheck-to-paycheck trap you've been fighting to escape. An emergency fund is your shield against life's unexpected storms. It's not glamorous. It won't impress your friends. You won't see it trending on social media. But it's one of the most powerful financial tools you will ever build. Because when you have an emergency fund, you gain something priceless: peace of mind. Imagine this: your car suddenly needs a $700 repair. Without an emergency fund, that $700 might have to go on a credit card, which leads to debt, interest, and even more stress. But if you have cash set aside, you can handle the problem calmly. No panic, no scrambling, no sinking deeper into financial quicksand. You simply solve it and move on with your life. That's the power of being prepared. Now let's be clear. An emergency fund is not for vacations, impulse buys, or that shiny new gadget you've been eyeing. It's for true emergencies only. Think medical bills, job loss, urgent home repairs, or anything that would seriously disrupt your life if you didn't have the money to cover it. This is your break glass in case of emergency money. So, how much should you save? Ideally, 3 to 6 months worth of essential living expenses. That might sound intimidating, especially if you're barely making ends meet right now. But don't let the big number scare you off. Start small. Your first goal might be just $500. Once you reach that, aim for $1,000. Then keep building from there. Progress matters more than perfection. Here's a simple way to get started. Create a separate savings account just for emergencies. Don't mix it with your regular checking account. When the money is out of sight, it's harder to spend. Every time you get paid, set aside a small amount, even if it's just $10 or $20. It might feel slow at first, but those small contributions add up over time. If you get extra money, a tax refund, a bonus, or even cash gifts, consider putting at least a portion of it into your emergency fund. Think of it as giving your future self a gift, the gift of security and calm when life gets messy. Here's something most people don't think about. An emergency fund doesn't just protect your finances, it protects your decision-making. When you don't have a safety net, fear takes over. You might stay stuck in a job you hate because you can't risk missing a paycheck. You might make desperate choices, like taking out a high-interest loan or selling something important just to cover a bill. But when you have an emergency fund, you can breathe. You can make choices from a place of strength instead of panic. Building your fund also creates a powerful psychological shift. Every dollar you save sends a message to yourself. I am in control. I am preparing for my future. I am not at the mercy of circumstances. This confidence spills over into every other area of your life. You might be wondering, what if I have debt? Should I build an emergency fund first, or pay off debt first? The answer is to do both, but start with a small emergency fund first. Even just $500 gives you a buffer, so you don't have to rely on credit cards when something unexpected happens. After that, you can aggressively attack your debt while slowly continuing to grow your savings. The key is to treat your emergency fund like it's sacred. If you ever need to use it, your very next priority is to replenish it. Don't let it stay empty. Think of it like a castle wall protecting you from the chaos of the outside world. If part of the wall gets damaged, you repair it immediately. Here's a challenge for you. This week, open a separate account and put something, anything, in it. Even if it's just $20. That's the first brick in your wall of security. Then commit to adding to it consistently. It doesn't matter how small the amounts are at first. What matters is building the habit. Over time, you'll notice a profound change. Emergencies won't feel like disasters anymore. They'll just feel like bumps in the road. Inconvenient, yes, but manageable. And that sense of calm will free up your energy to focus on bigger goals, like building wealth and creating a life of true freedom. Remember, freedom isn't just about having money, it's about having options. And options come from preparation. A bulletproof emergency fund gives you the confidence to face life head-on, no matter what surprises come your way. It's the foundation upon which every other part of your financial journey will be built. Start building yours today, and you'll sleep better tonight, knowing you've taken one giant step closer to breaking free from the paycheck-to-paycheck trap forever. Chapter 7. Kill debt before it kills your dreams. Debt is like quicksand. At first it feels harmless, just a small step into the soft ground. A credit card here, a car loan there, maybe a personal loan to cover an emergency. But slowly, without realizing it, you begin to sink. Each payment pulls you down a little further. Each interest charge adds more weight. Before you know it, you're trapped, barely keeping your head above the surface while your dreams slip further and further away. Here's the hard truth. As long as debt owns you, you will never be free. You cannot build lasting wealth while you're sending large chunks of your paycheck to banks and lenders every single month. Debt doesn't just cost you money, it costs you peace of mind. It costs you choices. It even costs you time, precious hours of your life spent working to pay for decisions made months or even years ago. The first step to killing debt is to stop pretending it's normal. Our culture has convinced us that debt is just part of life. Car loans, student loans, credit cards, it's all treated like a rite of passage. But here's the reality: debt is not a tool for freedom, it's a trap. And the longer you accept it as just the way things are, the longer you'll stay stuck. So let's get practical. You don't have to live under this weight forever. You can break free, but it will take focus and determination. Here's how you start. Step 1. Stop adding to the pile. This might sound obvious, but it's where most people fail. You can't dig yourself out of a hole if you keep grabbing the shovel. That means no new loans, no new credit card balances, no "I'll just pay it off later" excuses. From this point forward, you commit to living on what you actually earn. Step 2. Know exactly what you owe. Debt often feels overwhelming because it's a blurry, scary thing hiding in the background. Bring it into the light. Write down every single debt you have, the balance, the interest rate, and the minimum payment. It might be uncomfortable, but this clarity gives you power. You can't attack what you can't see. Step 3. Pick your attack strategy. There are two popular ways to pay off debt. The debt snowball method means paying off the smallest debt first, while making minimum payments on the rest. Once the first debt is gone, you move to the next smallest, and so on. This method gives you quick wins, which build motivation. The debt avalanche method focuses on paying off the highest interest debt first. This saves you the most money in the long run. Both methods work. What matters is choosing one and sticking with it. Step 4. Go on the offensive. You're not just paying debt, you're declaring war on it. That means finding extra money to throw at it. Cut unnecessary expenses, sell things you don't need, take on a side hustle for a while. Every extra dollar becomes a weapon in your fight for freedom. Here's something to remember. Paying off debt is not just about math, it's about emotion. It's about taking back control of your life. When you make that last payment, you don't just erase numbers on a screen. You erase stress. You erase limits. You erase the constant feeling that you're always behind. As you go through this process, there will be moments of frustration. You'll be tempted to give up, especially when progress feels slow. That's normal. When that happens, remind yourself why you started. Picture what life will look like when you're free from debt. Imagine the relief of keeping your entire paycheck instead of watching it disappear the moment it arrives. And here's a powerful motivator. Every dollar you send to debt could be a dollar building your future instead. Think about it. That $300 monthly car payment, once it's gone, that's $300 you can save, invest, or use to create the life you truly want. Debt isn't just stealing from your present, it's robbing your future. Now let me be clear, there's a difference between good debt and toxic debt. A mortgage on a reasonably priced home or a low-interest business loan can be considered strategic debt because it's tied to an appreciating asset or income-producing opportunity. But consumer debt, like credit cards, payday loans, and financing for things that lose value the moment you buy them, that's toxic. That's the kind of debt you must eliminate as fast as possible. Here's your action step for today. Choose one debt and start attacking it immediately. Even if you can only pay an extra $20 this month, do it. The act of moving forward will create momentum. Debt isn't conquered in one giant leap. It's defeated through consistent, relentless action. Remember this: debt wants to keep you small. It wants you to stay tired, distracted, and dependent. But you were not meant to live your life chained to payments and interest rates. You were meant to live free. So kill your debt before it kills your dreams. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Every payment you make is a victory. Every balance you wipe out is a step closer to the life you deserve. And when the day comes that you are finally debt-free, you'll look back and realize that what you really gained wasn't just money. It was power, freedom, and a future that belongs entirely to you. Chapter 8. Learn the skills that make you irreplaceable. Here's something most people don't realize. Your income today is a direct reflection of the value you bring to the marketplace. If you feel stuck earning the same paycheck year after year, it's not because the world is unfair or the economy is against you. It's because the skills you currently have are being valued at a certain level. The good news, you can change that. You can grow, adapt, and learn skills that make you so valuable that opportunities chase you instead of you chasing them. Think about it like this. Imagine two people doing the exact same job. One keeps doing the bare minimum, just enough to stay employed. The other takes time to master new tools, solve bigger problems, and bring ideas to the table that make a real difference. When it's time for a raise, promotion, or a better opportunity, who do you think wins? The one who has made themselves irreplaceable. If you want to escape the paycheck-to-paycheck trap, you can't rely on cost-cutting alone. Yes, saving money and plugging financial leaks matter, but there's a limit to how much you can cut back. There is no limit to how much you can earn when you focus on increasing your value. The key is to stop thinking like an employee and start thinking like a problem solver. Companies, clients, and even entire industries pay for one thing above all else: solutions. If you can solve bigger, more complex, or more urgent problems, you will never have to worry about income again. Your skills will keep you in demand, even when others are struggling. So how do you do this? Start by identifying which skills are most valuable in today's world. These might be technical skills like coding, data analysis, or digital marketing. They might be leadership skills like communication, negotiation, and team management. Or they might be specialized skills in your industry that very few people have mastered. The goal is to find the intersection between what the market needs and what you can get excited about learning. Once you've identified those skills, make learning a daily habit. Even 30 minutes a day of focused study can completely transform your future over the course of a year. Read books, take online courses, watch tutorials, practice in real-world situations. Don't just consume information, apply it. True skill comes from doing, not just knowing. There's another piece to this puzzle: soft skills. Many people underestimate them, but they're often the deciding factor in who gets ahead. Things like emotional intelligence, public speaking, and leadership are priceless. You might be the most technically skilled person in the room, but if you can't communicate your ideas clearly or inspire others to act, your impact will always be limited. Here's something powerful to remember: you are your own best investment. Stocks can rise and fall, the economy can shift, but the skills you develop can never be taken from you. When you invest time and effort into becoming more valuable, you create a kind of personal wealth that compounds over time. Of course, there's a catch. Growth requires discomfort. Learning new skills means stepping outside your comfort zone. It means making mistakes, feeling awkward, and sometimes even failing. That's okay. Every expert was once a beginner. The difference between those who stay stuck and those who rise is simple. The ones who rise keep going, even when it's uncomfortable. Here's a practical step you can take right now. Identify one skill that, if you mastered it, would dramatically increase your earning potential. Maybe it's a technical skill that's in high demand. Maybe it's public speaking, so you can lead with confidence. Maybe it's negotiation, so you can close bigger deals or secure better salaries. Whatever it is, commit to working on it consistently for the next 6 months. As you grow your skills, something incredible happens. Your confidence increases. Opportunities start appearing that you couldn't have even imagined before. You stop feeling trapped by your current job or paycheck. because you know you have the ability to create value wherever you go. This doesn't just help you earn more, it gives you leverage. When you are irreplaceable, you gain the power to make choices. You can negotiate higher pay, you can move to a better company, you can even start your own business, if that's your dream. Instead of being at the mercy of circumstances, you become the one in control. Remember, no one is coming to rescue you. No one is going to hand you freedom on a silver platter. The way out of the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle isn't luck, it's growth. It's about becoming so skilled, so valuable, that the marketplace can't ignore you. Every hour you spend scrolling on your phone or watching TV is an hour you could be investing in yourself. A year from now you could look back with pride, knowing you've built a stronger, more secure future. Or you could look back with regret, wishing you had started today. The choice is yours. Stop thinking of yourself as just an employee collecting a paycheck. See yourself as a growing asset, a person who is constantly increasing in value. When you focus on learning the skills that make you irreplaceable, you won't just escape the paycheck-to-paycheck trap. You'll rise so far above it that you'll wonder how you ever lived that way in the first place. Chapter 9. Stop trading time for pennies. There comes a point when you realize that no matter how hard you work, there are only so many hours in a day. You can't keep trading your time for money forever, because time is a limited resource. Once an hour is gone, it's gone forever. But here's the truth, most people don't want to face: if you're only earning money by the hour or by the paycheck, you've placed a ceiling on your potential. Think about it. You could work 2 jobs, pick up extra shifts, or hustle on weekends. Sure, you might earn a little more, but eventually you'll hit a wall. There are only 24 hours in a day, and if your income depends entirely on those hours, you'll always be capped. Worse, you'll burn yourself out trying to get ahead. That's not freedom, that's exhaustion disguised as ambition. The wealthy play a different game. They focus on leverage. They build systems, products, and opportunities that allow them to earn even when they're not actively working. Instead of being paid only for their time, they create value that keeps generating income over and over again. Here's the key mindset shift. Stop thinking like a worker and start thinking like a builder. Workers ask, how much will they pay me for this hour? Builders ask, how can I create something once that pays me again and again? This is how people escape the paycheck-to-paycheck trap. They stop relying on effort alone and start using strategy. You've probably heard the phrase, work smarter, not harder. It's become a cliché, but there's deep truth in it. Working harder alone won't change your life if you're running in the wrong direction. You need to step back and look at how you're using your time. Are you spending it only on tasks that give you immediate short-term rewards? Or are you investing some of it into building assets that will reward you for years to come? Let's look at an example. Imagine you're a freelance graphic designer. If you work on client projects, you get paid once per project. But what if you also created design templates and sold them online? Suddenly, you've built something once that can be sold thousands of times. Your effort in one moment creates ongoing income. That's leverage. The same applies to other areas. Maybe you're a teacher who tutors students one-on-one. That's great. But what if you recorded your lessons and sold them as a course? Or maybe you work in a company and notice a problem you could solve by creating a process or tool. If you develop it, you're no longer just an employee. You're a problem solver with unique value. This doesn't mean you need to quit your job tomorrow or launch a huge business overnight. It starts small. Set aside time each week to think about ways you can multiply your efforts. Maybe it's learning a skill that positions you for a higher paying role. Maybe it's creating a side project that earns money while you sleep. The point is to break free from the trap of one-to-one time for money exchanges. Here's something to remember. Money is infinite, but your time is not. Too many people sacrifice their most precious resource, their hours, their energy, their health, just to earn a few extra dollars. Then, when they finally have some money, they no longer have the time or energy to enjoy it. That's a lose-lose situation. When you build leveraged income, you flip the script. You create a situation where your time works for you, even when you're not working. It could be through investments, a business, intellectual property, or systems you've built. The vehicle doesn't matter as much as the mindset. How do I make my effort multiply instead of disappear? Of course, this shift requires patience. At first, it might feel like extra work without extra payoff. You might spend hours learning a new skill or building something that doesn't bring in money right away. That's normal. Think of it like planting seeds. You don't eat the fruit the same day you plant the tree, but over time those seeds grow into something that feeds you for years. As you start this journey, there will be people who don't understand. They'll say, "Why are you wasting time on that? Just get a better job." Ignore them. Most people are stuck in the cycle of trading time for pennies because they've never been shown another way. You're choosing to break free, and that takes vision. Remember this, your time is your most valuable asset. Guard it fiercely. Stop giving it away cheaply. If you want to build wealth, focus on creating value that exists beyond your direct effort. Build systems, products, and opportunities that pay you even when you're resting, traveling, or spending time with the people you love. When you stop trading time for pennies and start creating leveraged income, you don't just make more money, you buy back your freedom, you reclaim your life, and that's worth more than any paycheck could ever offer. Chapter 10. Build multiple streams of income. If there's one lesson life has taught us again and again, it's this: relying on a single source of income is risky. Think about it. If you have just one job, one paycheck, and something happens, you get laid off, the company downsizes, the economy shifts, your entire financial foundation collapses overnight. It's like standing on one leg and expecting to stay balanced forever. Most people live with this risk every single day, and they don't even realize it. They tell themselves, "My job is secure. I've been here for years." But the truth is, no job is completely safe. Companies change, industries evolve, and sometimes, through no fault of your own, your income can vanish in an instant. That's why building multiple streams of income isn't just smart. It's essential for true financial freedom. Picture your income like a river. If you only have one stream feeding it, and that stream dries up, you're in trouble. But if you have several streams flowing in, losing one doesn't destroy you. The others keep you afloat. This is how financially free people live. They don't depend on one paycheck. They create a network of income sources that support them, no matter what happens. Now here's the exciting part. Creating multiple streams of income doesn't mean you need 5 jobs or 80-hour work weeks. It's about being strategic. Some streams might require active effort, like a side business or freelance work. Others can be more passive, like investments, royalties, or products you build once and sell repeatedly. The goal is to create a mix that grows over time, gradually reducing your dependence on any single source. Let's talk about a few practical examples. If you work a full-time job, that's your primary stream. Great. But what if you also started a small side hustle, something you're passionate about or skilled at? Maybe you tutor online, sell handmade products, or offer consulting in your area of expertise. Even if it brings in just a few $100s a month, that's a powerful second stream. Next, think about investments. This could mean stocks, real estate, or even something as simple as a high-yield savings account. The key is to make your money work for you. At first, the returns may seem small, but over time they grow, and eventually they can become a reliable source of passive income. Another option is to create digital products. Maybe you write an ebook, design a course, or build a resource people are willing to pay for. You put in the work once, and it continues to earn for you without constant effort. This is how you shift from trading time for money to building assets that pay you repeatedly. You don't need to start all of this at once. In fact, trying to build too many streams too quickly can overwhelm you. Instead, focus on one new stream at a time. Master it, grow it, and then move on to the next. Over the years, these streams will stack together, creating a financial safety net that no single setback can destroy. Here's something important to remember. Multiple streams of income aren't just about money. They're about freedom and peace of mind. When you have more than one way to earn, you stop living in constant fear of what if. What if I lose my job? What if the economy slows down? What if something unexpected happens? Those questions no longer have the power to paralyze you because you know you have other options. Building these streams also changes how you approach work. When you're not completely dependent on one paycheck, you gain confidence. You can negotiate better pay. You can say no to toxic environments. You can take risks and pursue opportunities that align with your dreams instead of clinging to a job out of desperation. Of course, creating multiple streams of income takes effort. It requires learning, planning, and sometimes sacrificing free time in the short term. But think of it like planting a garden. At first it's just seeds in the soil. You water them, nurture them, and protect them. Over time they grow into something that feeds you for years to come. Imagine waking up one day knowing your bills are covered by income streams you've built. Imagine working because you want to, not because you have to. That's what financial independence feels like. It's not about having millions in the bank, it's about having security, stability, and choices. So today, take the first step. Look at your skills, interests, and resources. Identify one way you can create an additional stream of income, no matter how small. Commit to it. Build it. And once it's flowing, start the next one. The more streams you create, the less power life's surprises have over you. Instead of living in fear of losing everything, you'll live with the quiet confidence that no matter what happens, you've built a strong, resilient foundation. That's not just money mastery, that's true freedom. Chapter 11. Master the art of saving and investing. Earning money is important, but keeping it and growing it is where real financial freedom begins. Too many people work hard for their paycheck, only to watch it disappear as quickly as it comes in. They save a little here and there, maybe toss a few dollars into a random account, and hope it magically grows. But hope is not a strategy. If you want to build lasting wealth, you must learn to master the art of saving and investing with intention. Let's start with saving. Saving is about building stability. It's about protecting yourself from life's unexpected twists. You've already learned about the importance of an emergency fund, but saving goes beyond that. It's the foundation that allows you to invest confidently and take advantage of opportunities without fear. Think of saving as the strong, steady ground beneath your financial house. Without it, everything else wobbles. The first step to mastering saving is to make it automatic. Most people try to save whatever's left over at the end of the month. And let's be honest, there's rarely anything left over. Instead, flip the script. Pay yourself first. The moment your paycheck hits your account, move a percentage straight into savings before you spend a single dollar. Even if it's only 5% at first, the habit matters more than the amount. Over time, you can increase the percentage and watch your savings grow like a snowball rolling downhill. Now here's the key. Don't just save for the sake of saving. Your savings should have a purpose. Maybe it's to buy a home, start a business, travel the world, or simply create peace of mind. When your savings are tied to a goal, it becomes easier to stay motivated. You're not just stashing money away, you're building a future you can see and feel. But saving alone won't make you wealthy. Inflation quietly eats away at your money over time. That's why you need to take the next step: investing. If saving is about stability, investing is about growth. It's how you turn your hard-earned dollars into a powerful engine that works for you, even while you sleep. Investing might feel intimidating, especially if you've never done it before. Many people think it's reserved for the rich or the financial experts on Wall Street. But here's the truth: anyone can invest. You don't need thousands of dollars to start. You just need knowledge, patience, and a willingness to play the long game. The simplest way to think about investing is this: you're buying pieces of assets that grow in value over time. Stocks, bonds, real estate, these are common vehicles. When you invest wisely, your money begins to multiply through the power of compounding. Compounding is like a snowball effect. At first it seems small and slow, but as the years go by, the growth becomes massive. It's not about timing the market perfectly or chasing quick wins. It's about staying consistent and letting time do the heavy lifting. One of the best strategies for beginners is to invest in broad, diversified funds, like index funds or ETFs. These spread your risk across many companies or assets, which helps protect you from big losses. You don't need to pick the next big stock. You just need to ride the overall wave of growth over time. Here's a powerful way to look at it: every dollar you spend today is gone forever, but every dollar you invest has the potential to come back multiplied. It's like planting seeds in a garden. If you eat the seeds, they're gone. But if you plant them, they grow into trees that bear fruit year after year. Of course, investing requires discipline. The market will rise and fall. There will be days when your investments go down, and you'll feel tempted to pull out in fear. Don't. The people who build wealth are the ones who stay calm during storms and keep their focus on the long-term horizon. As you grow more confident, you can explore other investments like real estate, businesses, or even creating your own products and intellectual property. But never rush. Build your knowledge step by step, just like you're building your financial future. Here's something crucial to remember: saving protects you, but investing frees you. Saving makes sure you never go backwards, while investing moves you forward. Both are necessary, and together they create unstoppable momentum. So take action today. Automate your savings. Set aside a portion of your income to invest regularly, even if it's small. Learn as you go, and let time and consistency work their magic. When you master the art of saving and investing, you're no longer just working for money. Your money is working for you. That's when the paycheck-to-paycheck life truly ends. That's when you begin to build a legacy that will last for generations. Chapter 12. Protect what you've built. Building wealth takes effort, discipline, and time. But here's the thing most people don't think about: it can all disappear in an instant if you don't protect it. You can spend years climbing out of debt, saving, and investing, only to have one unexpected event wipe out everything you've worked so hard to create. That's why protecting what you've built is just as important as building it in the first place. Think of your finances like a house. You've laid the foundation by creating an emergency fund. You've built the walls with smart saving and investing. Now it's time to add a roof to keep everything safe. Without that roof, one storm could come through and destroy it all. The first step to protection is simple, but often overlooked: insurance. Most people see insurance as just another bill, but it's actually a shield. Health insurance, car insurance, renters or homeowners insurance. These aren't luxuries, they're necessities. Because no matter how careful you are, life is unpredictable. A single medical emergency or accident could cost tens of thousands of dollars. With proper insurance, you're not left scrambling or forced into crushing debt. But insurance isn't just about health or property. If others depend on your income, like a spouse, kids, or aging parents. Life insurance is essential. It's not about you, it's about protecting the people you love. Even a modest policy can ensure that your family is taken care of if the unthinkable happens. Next, let's talk about identity and financial security. We live in a digital world, and that brings new risks. Scams, fraud, and identity theft are more common than ever. Make it a habit to check your bank accounts and credit reports regularly. Use strong passwords and two-factor authentication. These small steps might seem tedious, but they can save you from major headaches and major losses down the road. Another form of protection is legal planning. It might sound complicated, but it's really about making sure your wishes are honored and your assets go where you want them to. A simple will or trust can prevent your family from dealing with unnecessary stress and conflict. If you own a business or significant investments, having legal documents in place is even more important. Then there's the matter of protecting yourself from, you. Sometimes the greatest threat to your wealth isn't a disaster or a scam, it's bad decisions. When you start to see progress, it's tempting to loosen up and overspend. Maybe you feel like you've earned it, or you deserve a treat. There's nothing wrong with enjoying your money, but without boundaries, you could easily slide back into old habits. One powerful strategy is to create financial rules for yourself. For example, decide in advance what percentage of any extra income will go to savings or investing. Commit to never spending more than a set percentage on non-essentials. These rules act like guardrails, keeping you on track even when emotions run high. Diversification is another layer of protection. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, whether it's a single investment, a single job, or even a single bank account. Spread your risk. That way, if one area takes a hit, the others keep you stable. Finally, protect your wealth by continuing to grow your knowledge. The financial world is always changing. Tax laws shift, new opportunities arise, and risks evolve. Make it a habit to keep learning. Read books, listen to podcasts, take courses. The more informed you are, the harder it becomes for anyone, or anything, to take advantage of you. Here's the truth. Protection isn't exciting. It won't give you the same thrill as seeing your investments grow or your income increase. But it gives you something far more valuable, peace of mind. When you know your financial life is shielded, you sleep better. You make decisions with confidence. You stop living in fear of what if, and start focusing on creating the future you want. So take action today. Review your insurance coverage. Set up security measures for your accounts. Put basic legal documents in place. Create rules to guard against overspending. Do whatever it takes to add that protective roof to your financial house. Because wealth isn't just about making money, it's about keeping it, safeguarding it, and ensuring it grows safely over time. When you protect what you've built, you're not just securing your own future, you're creating a legacy that will stand strong for generations to come. Chapter 13. Adopt the wealth habits of the successful. Success leaves clues. If you want to create lasting wealth, you don't have to figure everything out on your own. You can look at the habits of people who've already done it and follow their lead. The difference between those who live paycheck to paycheck and those who build true financial freedom often comes down to daily choices, not one-time decisions, not lucky breaks, habits. The wealthy don't just act differently when they make big financial moves. They think differently and they live differently, day after day, in small, consistent ways. These habits might not seem dramatic in the moment, but over time, they compound into incredible results. Let's start with the most foundational habit, intentional spending. Successful people are deliberate with their money. They don't spend just because something is trendy or because everyone else is doing it. Before they make a purchase, they ask, does this align with my goals? Does this bring real value to my life? If the answer is no, they don't buy it, no matter how tempting it might be. This isn't about being cheap, it's about being smart. Every dollar they save from unnecessary spending becomes a dollar they can invest in their future. The next habit is consistent saving and investing. Wealthy people don't save and invest only when it's convenient. They make it automatic. A percentage of their income goes directly towards savings and investments every single month, like clockwork. It's not negotiable. This habit builds momentum over time. Even if the amount starts small, the act of consistently paying yourself first creates a snowball effect that grows larger and larger as the years go by. Another powerful habit is lifelong learning. People who build and maintain wealth never stop growing. They read books, listen to podcasts, attend seminars, and surround themselves with others who challenge them to think bigger. They understand that the more they learn, the more they can earn, and the more they can protect what they've built. This doesn't just apply to financial knowledge. They also work on improving their leadership, communication, and problem-solving skills. Wealthy individuals also have the habit of delayed gratification. While most people chase instant pleasure, the latest gadget, the newest car, the big vacation, the successful are willing to wait. They know that short-term sacrifices lead to long-term rewards. This doesn't mean they never enjoy life. It means they enjoy it on their terms, without debt, stress, or guilt. For example, instead of buying a luxury car with a massive loan, they might wait, invest their money, and buy it outright later, when it won't compromise their financial stability. Another critical habit is clear goal setting. The wealthy don't drift through life, hoping things will work out. They set specific measurable goals and create plans to reach them. They write these goals down, review them regularly, and adjust when needed. This gives them direction and focus. Without clear goals, it's easy to get distracted and waste time, energy, and money on things that don't matter. Equally important is the habit of tracking progress. Successful people know exactly where their money is going, what their net worth is, and how close they are to their targets. They don't operate in the dark. They track their progress the same way an athlete tracks their performance, not to feel stressed, but to stay motivated and accountable. One habit that might surprise you is protecting energy and health. Wealth isn't just about money, it's also about having the physical and mental strength to enjoy the life you've built. Many successful people prioritize sleep, exercise, and self-care. They understand that burnout leads to poor decisions, and poor decisions can destroy even the strongest financial foundation. Finally, wealthy individuals practice generosity and gratitude. This may seem counterintuitive, but giving is a powerful wealth habit. It reminds you that money is a tool, not a master. It keeps you grounded and prevents greed from taking over. Gratitude, on the other hand, shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, creating a mindset of abundance instead of scarcity. Here's the beautiful part. You don't need to be rich to start these habits. In fact, these habits are what make you rich over time. You can begin today, no matter your current financial situation. Start small, pick one habit, and focus on mastering it. Then add another and another. Imagine where you'll be in 5 or 10 years if you start now. Your finances will be stronger, your mindset will be sharper, your life will be more stable and fulfilling. Wealth isn't built overnight, but it is built daily, through the choices you make, the routines you create, and the discipline you develop. Remember, habits are like seeds. The ones you plant today will determine the harvest you reap tomorrow. Choose wisely, adopt the habits of the successful, and over time, you won't just change your bank account, you'll change your entire future. Chapter 14. Teach money wisdom to your family. Money mastery isn't just about improving your own life. It's about breaking the cycle of financial struggle for the generations that come after you. Too many families repeat the same mistakes over and over again because no one ever taught them differently. Parents avoid talking about money because it feels uncomfortable. Kids grow up confused, and the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck continues. But you have the power to change that. You can become the person in your family who plants the seeds of financial wisdom. When you learn these principles and share them with the people you love, you're not just helping them make better choices, you're giving them a gift that will impact their entire future. Let's start with this truth. Money conversations don't have to be scary. Growing up, many of us were told that it's impolite to talk about money. Maybe your parents argued about bills behind closed doors, or maybe no one ever mentioned money at all. That silence creates shame. It makes money feel mysterious, overwhelming, and even dangerous. The first step to changing that dynamic is to bring money into the open. Talk about it calmly, openly, and without judgment. If you have children, start early. Teach them that money is simply a tool, nothing more, nothing less. It's not something to fear, and it's not something that defines their worth. When kids grow up with a healthy view of money, they make wiser decisions as adults. One of the most powerful lessons you can teach your family is delayed gratification. We live in a world of instant everything, instant purchases, instant entertainment, instant results. But true wealth is built slowly and steadily. Show your kids the value of waiting, saving, and planning. For example, instead of buying them everything they want right away, create a system where they save for part of it themselves. That small act builds patience and responsibility. If you have a partner, being on the same page financially is non-negotiable. Many relationships fall apart because of money stress. If you're working toward financial freedom, but your partner is spending recklessly, you'll always feel like you're pulling in opposite directions. Sit down together and have honest conversations about your goals, fears, and dreams. Build a shared vision for your future. When both of you are working as a team, money becomes a tool that strengthens your relationship instead of breaking it apart. Another key part of teaching money wisdom is leading by example. Your actions speak louder than your words. If you tell your kids to save but they see you overspending or panicking over bills, the lesson won't stick. Show them what responsible money management looks like in real life. Let them see you tracking your expenses, setting aside money for savings, and making thoughtful decisions. These moments will teach them far more than any lecture ever could. It's also important to talk about the values behind money. Wealth isn't just about having nice things or living in comfort. It's about freedom, choices, and the ability to help others. Teach your family that money is a resource for creating a meaningful life, not a measure of their identity. Encourage generosity. Even small acts of giving can shape a child's perspective, showing them that money has the power to do good in the world. Don't be afraid to share your own mistakes too. If you've made financial missteps, and who hasn't, use them as teaching moments. Let your family know what you learned and how you overcame those challenges. This vulnerability shows them that failure isn't the end. It's an opportunity to grow. As your family grows older, help them understand practical financial skills. Teach your teenagers how to budget, how credit works, and why debt can be dangerous. Teach them how to read a pay stub, understand taxes, and open a savings account. These lessons might seem basic, but they're often missing from schools, and they can make the difference between a confident adult and someone who constantly struggles with money. Remember, every conversation you have, every example you set, creates ripples that extend far beyond today. When you teach your family about money, you're not just helping them avoid mistakes. You're building a legacy of strength and stability. Imagine looking back years from now and seeing your children thriving financially, making wise decisions, and passing those lessons on to their own kids. Imagine knowing that, because you chose to have these conversations, you changed the trajectory of your entire family tree. That's the power of teaching money wisdom. It's not just about wealth, it's about freedom, confidence, and opportunity. Start small, start today. Even a single lesson shared at the dinner table can plant a seed that grows for generations. By teaching your family about money, you're doing more than escaping the paycheck-to-paycheck trap for yourself. You're ensuring that no one you love ever has to feel trapped in it again. And that might just be the greatest investment you'll ever make. Chapter 15. Design a life of freedom and purpose. Money mastery is not just about numbers in a bank account. It's about creating a life that feels rich in every way. A life where you wake up excited, free from constant financial stress, and filled with a sense of purpose. Too many people think financial freedom is simply about having more money. But here's the truth. Money without meaning is empty. Think about it. You could reach a point where all your bills are paid, you have savings in the bank, and you never worry about debt again. That's wonderful. But if you don't have a vision for your life, you'll still feel unfulfilled. The real goal isn't just to escape the paycheck-to-paycheck trap. It's to design a life where you get to choose how you spend your time and energy. Start by asking yourself some deep questions. What does freedom mean to you? It's different for everyone. For some, it's the ability to travel and explore the world. For others, it's spending more time with family, or finally having the space to pursue a passion project. Freedom might mean working fewer hours, or even leaving a job you dislike to build something of your own. The key is to define it clearly. If you don't know what you're aiming for, you'll never know when you've arrived. Once you have a vision, you can start aligning your financial choices with that vision. Every dollar you earn, save or invest, should move you closer to the life you want. This is why having a clear why matters so much. When you're tempted to splurge on something you don't need, your why will remind you to stay focused. It turns financial discipline from a chore into an act of empowerment. Here's an important truth. Freedom is built in layers. It rarely happens overnight. The first layer is survival, covering your basic needs without stress. The next layer is security, having an emergency fund and being free from toxic debt. Then comes stability, having consistent income streams and savings that allow you to make decisions calmly. Finally, there's true freedom, where you work because you choose to, not because you have to. Along the way, you'll face challenges. There will be setbacks, unexpected expenses, and moments when you question whether it's worth the effort. That's when purpose becomes your fuel. When you know why you're on this journey, you'll keep going even when the path feels steep. Designing a life of freedom also means being intentional with your time. Money is a powerful tool, but time is even more precious. If you achieve financial success, but still feel trapped by your schedule, you haven't truly won. Ask yourself, how do I want to spend my days? What kind of work excites me? Who do I want to spend my time with? Your answers to these questions should shape the way you structure your income and investments. For example, maybe you dream of traveling for a few months each year. That vision could guide you to build online income streams or remote work opportunities. Or maybe your purpose is to give back to your community. That might inspire you to create a business or non-profit that serves others while supporting your financial goals. Another piece of this puzzle is letting go of comparison. It's easy to look at someone else's life and think you need what they have: the bigger house, the flashier car, the designer clothes. But true freedom is about living on your terms, not chasing someone else's idea of success. When you stop comparing, you gain clarity. You focus on what genuinely matters to you, and that focus brings both peace and power. As you move closer to financial freedom, remember to celebrate the journey. Enjoy the milestones along the way, paying off a debt, reaching a savings goal, creating your first extra income stream. These moments are proof that you're building a new reality, step by step. Finally, understand that purpose isn't a destination, it's a practice. You'll grow, change, and discover new passions over time. That's okay. The beauty of financial mastery is that it gives you the flexibility to evolve. When you're no longer trapped by money stress, you have the space to explore what truly lights you up. Imagine this, waking up on a Monday morning without dread. Your bills are paid, your income streams are flowing. You have time for the people and projects that matter most. And instead of feeling weighed down by survival, you feel free to create, to give, to live fully. That is the life you're working toward. So as you wrap up this journey, remember, money is not the ultimate goal, it's the vehicle. The true destination is a life of freedom and purpose. Start designing that life today, with each decision you make and each habit you build. Because when you master your money, you don't just change your finances, you change your future, and the futures of everyone who follows in your footsteps. Conclusion: you've made it to the end of this audiobook, and that alone is something worth celebrating. Most people never take the time to truly understand money, let alone commit to changing their financial future. By listening to these chapters and reflecting on the lessons inside, you've already separated yourself from the crowd. You've proven that you're ready for more than just surviving paycheck to paycheck. You're ready to thrive. Let's take a moment to look back at where we started. In the beginning, we talked about facing the truth, about getting honest with yourself and confronting your current financial reality. That wasn't easy, but it was necessary. Then we explored the mindset shifts required to escape the cycle of just getting by. Because freedom doesn't start with a bigger paycheck. It starts with a bigger vision and a stronger mindset. We moved through practical steps, tracking every dollar, plugging financial leaks, creating a bulletproof emergency fund, and slaying the monster of debt. You learned how to grow your income by building valuable skills and how to stop trading time for pennies by leveraging your efforts. We discussed building multiple streams of income, mastering saving and investing, and most importantly, protecting everything you've built. But this journey has never been just about money. It's about what money represents: freedom, choice, and purpose. That's why we talked about adopting wealth-building habits, teaching financial wisdom to your family, and ultimately designing a life that excites you. Because what good is financial success if it doesn't create a life you truly love? Here's the truth I want you to carry with you. There is no finish line. Financial mastery isn't a one-time achievement. It's a lifelong journey. There will be setbacks. Unexpected expenses will pop up. The economy will shift. Your goals will evolve. That's okay. The difference now is that you have the tools, knowledge, and confidence to navigate whatever comes your way. Remember, small, consistent actions create massive results over time. You don't need to do everything at once. You don't need to be perfect. What matters is that you keep moving forward. Even one small step each day brings you closer to the freedom you've been dreaming of. Picture yourself 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. If you consistently apply what you've learned here, your future will look completely different. You'll no longer feel trapped by bills or chained to a job you hate. Instead, you'll have options. You'll have breathing room. You'll have the power to make decisions based on your dreams, not your fears. And perhaps most importantly, you'll become a beacon for others. When your friends, family, or children see the life you've built, they'll realize that change is possible for them too. Your financial freedom will create ripple effects that last for generations. So, as we close this chapter, I want you to make a promise to yourself. Promise that you won't let this just be another audiobook you listened to and forgot about. Promise that you'll take action, today, tomorrow, and every day after. Because the only thing standing between you and lasting wealth isn't luck or circumstances, it's commitment. You have the power to break free from the paycheck-to-paycheck trap once and for all. You have the ability to create a life of stability, abundance, and purpose. You've learned the steps. You've gained the knowledge. Now it's time to act. Your financial future is waiting. Your freedom is waiting. And it all begins with the choices you make today. Go out there and build the life you deserve. One decision, one habit, and $1 at a time.